Walking down the streets of Boston, it is easy to spot who bought their clothes from large corporations. Most of these mass-produced styles look almost identical. Whether you shop at Forever 21, H&M, or Zara, you will find shirts or pants in a similar color, shape, and pattern. Because of this, some people are trying to move away from these trends and buy something a little more unique. Local boutiques like Ash & Rose are beginning to sell one-of-a-kind pieces that offer a more sustainable alternative. Mary and Nia Savoca are the co-owners of Ash & Rose, a sustainable clothing store located in South Boston. The mother-daughter duo works hard to make sure all their products are made ethically and earth-consciously. Along with housing sustainable brands such as Thought Fashion and Synergy Organic, a quarter of the store's inventory comes from their own private collection they make in-house. Mary says,
"We use primarily upcycled fabrics. So that means we're using a lot of designer dead stock, which is the end of the production runs for other bigger designers, things that they're casting off.
They also use pieces of vintage fabrics.
Everything that we make is really limited edition. We only have so much of a fabric, we can't make any more. We're only using recycled materials. Our customers really love that everything is very limited and very special, and they look forward to seeing what's new because they know it won't last very long."
With a wide selection of unique and handmade clothing options, many consumers are drawn to the boutique. However, most of their customers are established adults with a disposable income.
We sell to women anywhere from 15 to 95. We have the whole range coming in here. But I would say our core group of customers is in that 35 to 55 range. I would say we're typically not selling to very young women because very young women are buying fast fashion.
Fast fashion consists of cheap, trendy clothing that is produced rapidly. These designs replicate styles from runways and celebrity culture. The term was coined in the 90s, when it was used by the New York Times to describe Zara's mission to only take 15 days for a garment to go from the design stage to being sold in stores. Although it may be convenient, pushing out clothing in that fast of a time frame comes with a lot of harmful environmental impacts. The fashion industry is already the second largest polluter of clean water globally, coming in right after the agriculture industry. Currently, toxic dyes used in factories are polluting waterways, causing a loss of biodiversity, killing animals and plants, plus harming humans' health. One of the most notable events happened in 2010 in a town called Xintang. This town is referred to as a blue jean capital of the world due to all of the companies manufacturing their jeans in the town. The chemicals that are involved in the jean making process contaminated the town's river, causing it to turn dark blue. Polyester, which is a commonly used fabric in fast fashion, is made of fossil fuels, which contributes to global warming and releases microfibers when washed. Cotton also uses enormous quantities of water and pesticides that harm the environment. And because of the constant speed and demand in which these clothes are being produced, more and more clothes are being disposed, increasing the amount of textile waste.
They're not shopping at stores like ours, they're not shopping at boutiques. And a lot of that has to do with budget.
As of right now, sustainable fashion items are often on the more expensive side. This is because many customers aren't buying sustainable products at a mass quantity.
Obviously, the more people spend money on businesses that are doing things sustainably, the more those businesses will succeed. And, if we spend less money on businesses that are doing harm, then hopefully those businesses will start to fade away or change what they're doing. I think a lot of people, they're not thinking about that every day. But as a business, you're making decisions on a much bigger scale that affect a lot more people.
Savoca explains that consumers really do have a say in how businesses operate.
I hope that more and more consumers will start to hold businesses accountable and don't just take someone's word for it if they say, oh, we're green, really dig a little bit deeper and find out if they're genuinely trying or just sticking a label on something.
She also mentions that an easy way to save money and shop sustainably is to be more conscious of your purchases.
When we bring any new object into our lives, we can ask ourselves, do I really need this? Is it going to last a long time? Should I hold off and buy the better version of it and save up a little bit more? Or should I buy the cheap version right now and then replace it and replace it and replace it? And I think, we can save money if we're just a little bit more thoughtful and take our time and don't buy quite as much stuff and just buy things that are higher quality that are going to last.
Savoca explains the origins of Ash and Rose.
Prior to Ash and Rose, my mom Nia and I had an online shop selling vintage clothing. So that's kind of how we got started having a business together. And then it was kind of a natural transition into selling sustainable clothing as well. And we officially launched Ash and Rose as a sustainable clothing store, no vintage, just sustainable clothes, at the very end of 2014. We launched online. And then at the end of 2015, we opened our store.
Growing up in Framingham, Massachusetts, Mary always had an interest for fashion and business.
I think I always wanted to work for myself, for one thing. I always wanted to be in fashion in one way or another. And the more that I learned about the problems with the fast fashion industry and just a lot of the harm that the fashion industry is doing in the world, the more that I knew that if I'm going to do this, it needs to be done right. For us, it was just always a given that if we were going to be contributing to this industry, that we wanted to be creating positive change and not making things worse.
Mary looks forward to seeing what will become of Ash and Rose.
I would love to have another brick and mortar location. That would be really exciting for me. I think, growing online is obviously a big goal that I think every business has, but I also think, so much of sustainable fashion is only available online, and giving people an opportunity to shop it in person, to touch and feel, to understand the quality, I think is so powerful.
With 60% of millennials wanting to shop more eco-friendly, sustainable fashion is starting to rise in popularity. While bigger brands such as H&M are launching sustainable clothing lines, many customers are looking to small boutiques such as Ash and Rose to get their new favorite go-to outfit.